Well, as we all know, it takes a great team to come into Cameron Indoor Stadium and beat Duke, and it takes a great team playing extremely well on that night and maybe catching Duke a little bit off on that night to be able to beat the Blue Devils here at this ancient old arena where they've only lost 59 times in the Mike Krzyzewski era. Clemson certainly is not a great team, and on top of that, they didn't play particularly well tonight, and Duke did play well. Duke did not have an off game, and so Duke comes away with the win tonight over the Tigers, 78-56. They did so without their star center, Jahlil Okafor, who set out the game with that injured ankle and foot that he suffered the other night against North Carolina, but he was hardly missed. The Blue Devils went to the rim with reckless abandon. Off the fast break, off turnovers, they scored 42 points in the paint, and very few of those points came on your typical inside type of scoring opportunities, post-ups and stickbacks and things of that nature. Their guards just were able to beat Clemson's defense and get into the paint and get to the rim. And Justice Winslow, very talented freshman forward, also excelled in taking the basketball off turnovers and off of missed shots and getting down the court and getting into the rim and scoring. He had 17 points in the first half, finished with a career-high tying 20 points tonight against the Tigers. The leading scorer in the game was the senior guard, Quinn Cook, for Duke, and he too tied his career high of 27 points, which he set 2 years ago against the Tigers. He shot the ball extremely well. He was 11 of 18 from the floor. The game started well enough for Clemson. They were in it in the first 7 or 8 minutes, and then Duke went on a big run in the first half. They go into halftime leading 42-27. The Tigers fall behind by 19 points in the second half. They make a run. They get it to 10. They're down 51-41, and there's still a lot of time to play, about 14 minutes to go, and they're down 10 and got a little bit of momentum. And I tell you who gave them a spark off the bench was freshman guard Gabe DeVoe. Came in and hit a couple of long threes. But Duke called a timeout, and when Duke calls a timeout, they usually come out and score. And that's what they did. They came out and hit a three, turned everything back in their direction, and went on a big run. At that point, a 10-0 run, went back up by 20 points, and the game was over at that point. Jaron Blossomgame playing injured. He's got a bad foot. He led the Tigers with 10 points. I mentioned DeVoe. He had 8 points. Dante Grantham also had 8 points for the Tigers. But some of these numbers will tell you the kind of game it was in favor of Duke. In the paint, outscoring the Tigers 42-30. Off of turnovers 16-9, and fast break points 19-4. So, it's Duke, it's Cameron, and you've got to play your absolute best to come in here and win. And obviously Clemson did not have the kind of team that could do that and did not play at its best today either. So the Tigers, they fall to 15-12, 7-8 in the league. They've lost 3 of 4, and they get this week off before returning home next Saturday at noon, and the Tigers will be taking on Georgia Tech at Littlejohn Coliseum. Duke improves to 24-3, 11-3 in the ACC. They're back in action Wednesday night at Virginia Tech. Check out the post-game comments from Brad Brownell. He was not happy with his team's efforts in this game, and we've got those comments for you here, along with Jaron Blossomgame and Gabe DeVoe, and we'll talk all about it Monday night on Sports Talk.